Yeah, it's going. Alright, welcome to another episode of the Jankity podcast, number 43 this time, and I put up the numbers ahead of time this time. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you already have your preferred podcast platform. So just like and subscribe to us there. If you're watching on YouTube, of course. And so go ahead and go to Multi-Murdy Media, like and subscribe there. You'll get the playlist for this podcast, Jankity podcast. And then you also have my other two shows on there, the Gutsy Ass Gamer, which is video games, Twitch feed, and Poncho's Paint Booth, which is my hobby and painting channel, where I do up some models. I got this guy, just started end of last week on the video. Obviously, he's already done. But so that's gonna be.
That looks pretty dope.
Yeah, the lighting's not too good.
I mean, just even from the side piece there, I'm just like, I want that model. Like I might
that's
even
actually the front. That's how. Yeah, but no. So that's gonna be a good 4 weeks of content right there, and then I also have the X art for those Dire Avengers guy. I did a separate video, so that's after that. And that's already done. And I did up, what's his face? Ismail's Aquilon Terminators a while ago, so that's after that. So.
Oh, nice. Got a lot in the hobby docket.
Oh, yeah. And I still got more to deal with later. But, and then of course also the same thing with, the Gutsy Gamer. I already got a few videos on their way, so that's good. I did learn that it was better to like split off my recordings even more, because I ended up with a 6-hour video at one point up there. It's like that's not.
I mean, I don't know, man. 6-hour playthrough vids, they're pretty in demand these days.
Well, I loaded it up just like that, so no takebacks.
The records must be preserved.
Speaking of, well, not any of that. It's beer time for me, at least. Ooh. I'm assuming it is for you.
It insofar as I'm drinking my little alcohol-y seltzer thing. It's pretty good. But next session, I'm planning on having a buddy of mine recommended some Icelandic beer, so I'm gonna try and get one of those next time we record.
Is it the one that has like the
where is it?
It's like white with a Viking on the side.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what that one is. I forget what it's called. Let me look at the photo.
Yeah, you should look at the alcohol rating too.
It's Einstock Olgard.
Yep.
Icelandic toasted porter.
Yeah, that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, it looks like it will.
Just one can. I, on the other hand, this time I'm drinking Taco Wednesday and pilsner, and it's got a nice picture there of a dwarf with some tacos full of hops, or something like that.
Pretty intense label.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best. And they are out, shit, what's the brewery? Kings County Brewers Collective, Brooklyn.
That's like that's not number 2 for you. 2 in a row shows with you doing New York brews. Were you doing New York one last time?
No, but we did talk about one that I had featured a while back. The Evil Twins Brewery.
Yeah, the one with all those mashed like sours and like sugar ones.
That one.
The Willy Wonka of beer factories.
So what's been new in Tom's world?
Tom's world? Okay. So GameStop. You heard of this?
Tom, everybody. Yep.
Good night, everybody. No.
That's our time.
No. So yeah, that's it. Good night. No. So if you've been following your various news outlets, you may have heard about GameStop stock. GameStop stock. I'm just gonna call it GameStonk for the rest of this, just just to clarify that I'm going to say it that way. I don't give a shit. But so the long and short of it, no puns intended if you actually understand market
Hey,
terminology.
we intend puns.
Yes.
Here.
We don't take kindly to people who don't take kindly. Is about a year ago, a bunch of people noticed that, because of the pandemic, certain stocks were going down.
Of course.
And the funny thing is that most people think of the stock market as, excuse me.
Bullshit.
Most people think, yeah, well, it's bullshit. They think of it like, oh, if I buy cheap and then I sell high, right? That's what traditionally most people think of it, and that's technically value investing, and there's other kinds and stuff like that. But there's actually a way to make money off the stock market if you think it's going to go down, and you can do that in one of two ways. You wait for it to go down, wait till everything's basically kaputs, and then you buy in, expecting things to go back up again. Or you make a bet on it going down by doing something called pulling, shorting a stock. Yeah, shorting. Now, at this point, me explaining this is probably hilariously late, considering since this has been an internet fascination, everybody and their mother probably knows what a shorting a stock is. But in case you don't, shorting a stock is basically saying, okay, I think this $10 stock is going to be worth $2 by the end of next week. So I'm going to go to the guy or the lender who owns that stock and say, hey, let me borrow your stocks and let me do whatever I want to do with them. And then I'll give them back to you. And when I give them back to you, I'll pay you whatever they're valued at, in addition to money right now for letting me run around with your stocks. Because you're just going to sit there holding them. If you're not going to sell them, let me make some money off them. And that's a very basic explanation. So the lender says, sure. I take the stocks and I immediately sell them at $10. So now I've got $10 in my pocket. And then, for whatever number of reasons, I was right. The stock goes down. It's now $2. I buy those stocks back at $2. I go to the lender and say, hey, those stocks I borrowed? Here you go. They're worth $2 now. Here are your $2 per stock. And I pocket $8 a stock because I bet against it. Now, if you're a simple, kind-hearted soul, you would think, well, it was just you saw the market conditions and you saw the company was going to go down, or maybe they were overvalued or blah, 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 blah. And sometimes that's the case. And sometimes you do it because you are essentially forcing a company to go under by undervaluing them and pushing the stock down, and doing so through various nefarious means, all of which are illegal, some of which are borderline illegal. And sure enough, GameStop on the surface looked like it was going to do shit because it's a pandemic, so their stores can't open. They're an in-person video game store, so why in the hell, who goes to buy video games anymore?
Yeah.
The last time I went to GameStop was because it was faster to get a controller than waiting through Amazon. And that was it. I mean, that's really it. Funny enough, I still have that controller.
Was it closer than Target or something?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, shit.
Actually, right. I think it was a better deal than Target, maybe.
There you go.
Because I know they sell hardware, and actually it's a good place to go get out of stock games or games that are not necessarily carried in the digital store. So like there's that like kind of like thing, yada yada. But so basically, yeah, so pandemic, they're not doing too hot. But they had gotten a new board. A couple people on the board were known for flipping companies to become profitable again. It looked like these people could be potentially game changers, and maybe GameStop would kind of turn around, do what Blockbuster didn't do, and evolve.
Yeah.
But regardless, on the surface, it looked like, hey, you know what? These big hedge funds, specifically one, was like, I'm going to short stock, and by doing so, they drove the price down, especially when they kind of like, did whatever they did, illegal or not. I can't speak to all of that, except for the last week. And, drove the price down. But these people who were long-term value investors were like, you know what? Actually, I see this thing coming back. And also what they realized is, the thing of it is when you short a stock, right, you have this chance to lose everything. So in the $10 example, I have at most an ability to get $9 to $10 if I sell the stocks at like zero value, which at that point the company's bankrupt. But if I somehow sell that, so my revenue is very specific, my target area. but my losses are infinite. Because for any number of reasons, if that stock goes through the roof and my time limit's up, I owe the money on whatever's left. So I better damn sell when it's low so I can get my money back. And that's what these people realize, is that these people were not only shorting a stock, which happens all the time, it's a totally legitimate maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
They were hyper shorting it. And not only were they like shorting it to the point where it's like they were throwing all their eggs in one basket, they were also doing so to a degree where they weren't even like preparing for the outcome of, well, what if it goes up? They were just like, no, it's not going to go up, whatever. People saw this, slammed into it, started investing, and all of a sudden the hedge fund started freaking out. And not just the multiple that were involved, because they're like, holy crap. Like, this is a huge potential, like, because again, losses are infinite. So if you've got a whole bunch of people who come in as individuals and buy up that stock and don't give it back to you, you can't give that stock back, but you still owe the money on that. So that means they're out the money. All of a sudden, they're paying the lenders when they bought it at like $100 a share. Now they're owing it at $300, and they don't even own it. So they can't even sell it to recoup those losses. Oof. Big oof.
See, what I kind of wonder about that is because like I've been using like I've been using the Stash app to do like, you know, just some chump change trade or buys or whatever. But I mean, you don't, as an individual, you don't ever actually own a stock, right? You just own like a percentage of a pool that whatever trading service they're using has, right?
It depends. So when you buy in, you can actually own a share, or you can own partial shares in certain cases. Like, for example, actually in GameStop, I own like, it's like very small, but I own a share and a half or something like that. So I own like a share and a partial share, you know? So like in that case, it really depends on what you're looking at. In some cases, the only availability is those partial shares. Again, it's just context. I'm also not a financial advisor or expert. I just happen to have been reading a lot about this stuff in the last week, so I think that I'm really good at it. Typical internet bravado.
AK didn't have much else to do, I'm guessing.
But so this whole thing is happening, and part of the reason it took off is because it's been like this huge meme of an event. Like tons of people have been like, yeah, let's screw over Wall Street, let's fuck the hedge funds, and part of the reason that is too is because a lot of people who are now retail investors that are involved in this were people who were young or old enough, you know, to remember what happened to their parents or their families in 2008. Now, in 2008, it was actually mostly the banks. The banks are really what screwed everybody over, but the hedge funds got in on it to their degree. I mean, nobody went to jail. So in this case, people are looking at this as like a way to fight back the man and the establishment and actually make money against Wall Street, where before it was never really the case. Like, for example, right, Robinhood and all these other trading apps where like it's free and commission, like you're not paying anything. It's not a free app for you to make money. If you make money, great. Who cares? They don't care. And you're not, I mean, out of the, you know, million investors who sign up for free retail commission trading apps, 1,000 are going to come out with any kind of constant revenue. And of that 1,000, maybe 100 are going to make some kind of real money. And of that 100, maybe only 10 actually make something good, you know? Because, you know, somebody, you know, getting research into stocks, man, like that's like a ton of work and research. It's like hard work. Like there's a reason why it's an actual day job for most people, you know? And that's the other thing too, is like a lot of people don't think that. I jumped into it just because it was interesting and, you know, like, sure, let's just take a look at it. This is fascinating right now. And lo and behold, it's like, damn, like, you know, you start looking at the minutia of stuff and there's a ton of stuff involved. And so, you know, all in all, by the way, you can't hear my kid crying, can you? He's like crying in the background.
A little bit.
Yeah, he's going ham tonight. He's teething, old bastard. But
get a better crowd over there, huh?
I know, right? apparently, I'm dying over here.
Yeah, right. No, what was I gonna say? I actually ended up inadvertently joining a Facebook stock group. Stocks as in money, not as in stocking. But
nice.
Well, I say inadvertently because he was like someone's brother that I used to work with or whatever back in college. But yeah, I'm finding out, or well, I guess I already knew it, but I realized pretty quickly that it's really, especially for like people like us who have, other things going on. We're not day traders or whatever. You definitely only want to focus on like one or two, uh, like fields of stuff or whatever. Cause like I'll see them, putting up posts like, oh hey, this company just signed for exclusive metal rights to whatever. It's like, oh, I'm out. I have nothing. There's nothing I got here. But
Yeah, I
yeah, but being like a concert venue worker, I kind of know a little bit what's going on in that world, or like also just being in used to being in post production, like I kind of still know what's going on there, and just things like that. And then of course I did put some cash into a couple airlines when everything went out the first time, almost a year ago now.
damn. Yeah, so let me think. Yeah, no, man, this is gonna be a janky one. No, so like for me, it's like this whole like yeah, I totally agree. It's like if you really want to actually make some kind of income and not work too hard on this, just pick a couple companies that you like, do your research, and or an industry that you like, do your research, and like pick one or two things to focus on, and just put your money there and let it sit, you know, and then just kind of let it ride and let it hang out. But what's funny actually is that if you really want to get into uh like money for nothing, chicks for free, uh, then start looking at cryptocurrencies. And now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, Bitcoin is like 33,000 ish a coin, so it's like insane. You can't get in it. But there are a number of other Bitcoins or other coins out there, or cryptocurrencies, I should say, where they're nowhere near as expensive, but they may not be as valuable. So but there you're looking at something where it's a future industry, right? So like cryptocurrencies are definitely the way of the future. We don't see it right now, but they really definitely are. The stock market's always going to be around, but eventually the stock market could become something where you're investing cryptocurrencies into companies like they were shares, any number of things. So if you're going to put your money somewhere, why not put it in whatever's new? Especially too, because like, what is it, like 6 years ago or something? Like, here, I'm actually going to Google this because I want to make sure. Value of Bitcoin in 2016. No. Not what was the price of Bitcoin in 2012? Yeah, so for example, 2012, it was about $15 high, $10 low for the almost, I think is what this is saying. But like, yeah, it was 15 to 10, somewhere in there at some point in the year. If I had spent $1,000 of monies in that time, I would be worth $33 million right now. For $1,000 of my cash back in
Dropping the ball.
2012. I know, right? But that's the thing, right? So like there's all these other cryptocurrencies, and based on the way they work, they actually have tangible value. They're not like paper money, where paper is just an issuance of debt. So you're not actually holding on to anything of true value unless you invest it, And not to mention which, because things are valued on debt, they're way more subject to inflation than, say, something where the value is very rigid. So cryptocurrencies are based on rigid value, which is the first thing we've had since like a gold standard, which is why the government doesn't like it, because they
Yeah.
can control debt, they can't control value.
Yeah, you can't just
And
print out bitcoins either.
exactly, no, you can't. You need like warehouses of computers now. But there's other different kind of cryptocurrencies where, based on what they're doing or how they're built, they'll be worth something along the way. Because while Bitcoin is the big boss, it's also super. I think, as one of my brothers explained it to me, who's like super into tech, it's kind of clunky. You can't really trade it very easily. It's impossible to mine at this point. High barrier to entry. And so while it's super valuable and it will be kind of a standard, it's not necessarily by any means the only thing that'll get that high. So like, just look at other different kinds of currencies, see if there's anything that like interests you. Like one actually that I'm starting to take a look at is this one called helium. And helium's
Sounds
worth like
familiar.
$3. Helium's like $3 a coin right now, and where Bitcoin gets its value off of
The difficulty to
generating.
get it right.
It's not just that, it's that, but it's also like the GPU power. So like a Bitcoin represents a certain GPU power that was built to create it. Helium is actually based off of Wi-Fi power. And the principle of helium is the way you mine it is you basically offer free internet. This is super simplification, but you get specific routers and specific modems, and you install them in your home or your office building, and you can provide insane coverage of internet connection. Not necessarily like high def, but like you can basically make it so everybody could browse the internet and watch YouTube videos, and it would be like pennies on the dollar compared to major internet stuff, right? Like fuck AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast, all that shit. Like you'd be paying significantly less. But the more people that use your network, the more then all of a sudden that gets measured and that starts generating these helium coins. And then those helium coins end up being worth something. And now imagine an entire world taking advantage of global free, essentially pennies on the dollar free Wi-Fi. That's just bonkers. And so it's one of those things where that is something unique, it's something cool, and if you put your money in it now and just chill for 5 or 6 years, never have to buy another lottery ticket again, And that's the other thing too, is with some of these cheaper coins, if they look promising enough and you drop a couple thousand in and you just forget about it, like that's it, like that's your budget for the year, then you know what? You're either going to lose it, you're going to get it back, you're going to make a little bit, or you're going to come out like insane. Just don't sell too early. Like there are a ton of people who sold Bitcoin like about a year or two ago when it was worth $300 a coin, became thousandaires, maybe a couple millionaires, and now like these people would have been like Jeff Bezos rich if they had held on. Just absolutely nuts.
Well, also don't forget either, because I don't know if you've seen. So I might have had him in the articles too, but there's apparently like an entire industry around built around people forgetting like their old Bitcoin buy or service passwords.
Damn.
And stuff like that. There was specifically an article about a guy who he has roughly like 200 million accrued as Bitcoin, but he has no idea like how to get to it anymore.
That's
And
nuts.
He apparently has like 4 attempts, and it's gone forever.
Yep. I think I saw that
Yes.
same thing. That's good. Yeah, that's another thing with this crypto stuff. Just write your goddamn password down. Just don't forget it.
Well, I mean, with mine, I just do it through the Stash app, so I don't.
Oh yeah, so there you go.
I know that
like
shit,
and
yeah.
and like most of it now you could do through like an app or a wallet, and like there's probably other redundancies now, but like for example, not all apps have all currencies. Like for example, if you wanted to get helium or HNT, you have
Somewhere
to.
else.
I think you have to get specific ones. Like Coinbase is the big crypto app, but they're not on Coinbase yet. So, and that probably is because Coinbase is dumb and not getting on that train. So, or maybe they're smart. I don't know. So, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like cryptocurrencies, there's like, a couple hundred solid ones out there, maybe 1,000 overall. Companies, you're just talking just shit tons of stuff, and not to mention which there's constant moving and constant stuff. And if you get lucky, yeah, maybe you invest in that one big hot company. Maybe you get that awesome jank money. But if you don't, you don't. Like it's like every year it's like, oh, I'd go back in time and tell myself to invest in Zoom, Uber, and this and that. Like,
Yeah.
If you can't predict it, then whatever.
Well, it's plenty of luck too.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely an element of luck. Being at the right place at the right time is like half of it. Meanwhile, crypto, it's like as long as you get in within the next 10 years and you did enough research to pick the right one and you diversified just enough, come out pretty okay.
Yep.
Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. So do not sue me if you had taken my advice and lose
There
money.
you go. Might as well sue yourself at that point.
Right? With all the money that I don't make.
But we don't want to talk about all that money stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to talk about things we don't have.
Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today. Actually, before all this, I was finally taking an actual close look at the old Necrons codex that they came out with. There's some interesting things in there that I didn't really realize. Like, literally every unit that has like more than one wound, they all have the living metal regenerate thing.
Really?
That's not bad. And I also realized that the whatchamacallit, the guys with the shields, the Lich Guard, they're also core units.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they get that. Them and the death marks are core, so that's not too shabby.
What's their points like? Did they end up getting some good points?
Let's see. Wait, which ones? Those guys? The Lich Guard. Where are you at? Lich Guard are 28 points apiece.
Nice, and that's with the weapons adjustments, right? Because now most models are coming with the points in there, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, there's just a base cost, and that's it. There's no upgrade cost. Velocity. Yeah. Yeah, because now with the new codexes, they have like every upgrade you can add is it's listed in the unit cost in the back of the books.
Nice. Yeah, I've actually, it's funny. I actually got a decent number of necrons, and I was kind of debating getting into them because, I have some store credit with Gameology and Frontline. I was thinking about dropping some of that on some hot new robot action. How do you feel like their durability plays out?
Well, I cleaned up against Bobby last week, but
was he playing his guard or his Space Marines?
No, he was playing his Marines. So like that one, it's kind of hard to tell because, well, I had so I just had like the 2 squads of warriors in the plains, and then I had a command barge with 6 wraiths, and then a Scorpic Lord with 6 of the Scorpic destroyers and one of the what are the fuck is this called? El Duce, the one with all the guns.
The Hex Wraith?
Yeah, Hexmark.
Hexmark, yeah.
But so he wiped all those units didn't do anything, but that's because he wiped them out with his little band of 10 Terminators and with hammers and shields. So that's kind of not the best metric for that. But I mean, at the same time, while he was doing that, all the warriors that I had were basically just like grabbing points and sitting on them. And I also had the Necron secondary, where my opponent chooses 3 objective markers, and depending on how many of those I control, I get a number of victory points. So, and since I was playing Nihilak as my Dynasty World, each of my OBSEC models counts as 2, so he wasn't able to, and these were warriors, so he wasn't able to really clear him off the board that easily until like the very end. So yeah, I would say well, if you're, I wasn't really playing for durability with that list. That was more just like kind of, sneak around back and have some extra threatening things. Also, I had 2 of those the Doomsday Arcs in there too, so they were doing some work.
Nice.
Quite a bit of work actually. But as he found out when he left like almost all of his characters in the middle of the board, like unassisted, and I just disappeared like all of them, pretty much. Yeah. But, and I mean, I wasn't playing with like any special regeneration things either in that time. Like I didn't have any orbs, no technomancers, no whatchamacallem, reanimators or anything like that, and they were still holding up pretty good. And of course,
nice.
now all their Gauss weapons and all that stuff actually come with AP native on them,
which is
too.
nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was also gonna say I did find with a Cryptek, with the way they changed the regeneration rule, so they just do a thing where either they can pick a core unit and either like return 1 model or D3 warrior models, but then one of the Cryptic Arcana that they can take lets them also target like Triarch, Dynastic Agents, or Canoptic units.
To regenerate?
To regenerate, yes. Like instead of just core units.
Damn.
Spiders are 6 wounds and can be taken up to 3. So with 1 Technomancer, and I just keep him with him. He can literally pop a whole spider back every time.
Damn. So you gotta like put them down.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
pretty tough, aren't they?
They're like 6 wounds. They're pretty thick.
6 wounds, 3 up. Looks like they have a living metal reanimation protocol rule, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Not too
And
shabby
yeah.
either.
Well, and their melee is actually pretty decent as well. And you can kit them out so that they can deny at least 1 psychic power. So,
Nice.
Not too bad. I might have to try that out one of these days.
It looks like they renamed the destroyers to be called Locust.
Yeah, they did. And those
good old branding.
Well, I mean, it makes sense too, because you can't just have, since now they expanded the destroyer cult to have like 5 or 6 different units. You can't just have like one of them just be destroyers.
We're the destroyers of the destroyer cult.
I do like that the new heavy destroyers are, those replace the old crappy
Chaos ones.
No. Like you remember the old heavy destroyers where you just get the kit and they have the giant
the suit
cannon. Yeah. So the new ones replace those guys, which is nice, and gives them that second anti-horde gun that they have in there too. And they're also
Nice.
like, what, $40 a model now too, though.
Yeah.
So,
Sinking something into that noise. Good grief.
oh yes. And I guess the only other thing that's kind of 40K related is I finally got to the part in Praetorians of Dorne where what's his face finds out that he's actually Alfarius, but like for
Yeah,
real.
dude, that part was so great.
Yeah.
He's like, I am Alfarius, but for real though. I know that there's like a number of, well, have you finished it or no?
No,
Okay. Well, and
I
not
just
without,
got
yeah.
to that part. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
it's still pretty close to the end. Kind
Okay,
of.
so I won't go into my fan theory that I heard because it will spoil stuff. So I'll just wait for you to finish. But Praetorian Dorn is like one of my favorite books. Plus, it also has like some really cool ass what is it, Imperial Fist characters, like that Huskarl leader dude. Like he's really cool. Like I remember really liking him.
Archimus, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then what's the other guy that's in that book's name? He's Archimus and his like protege. What's that guy's name? I remember.
Kester. If I
Caster.
remember it. Kester. The
Oh, okay.
K-E. It's in my car. But, yeah. You know, that one is an interesting one. And I do like that they have like a lot more of like old Terra stuff too in there.
Oh yeah,
Kind of, sort
there's
of.
some good. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that book was pretty lore heavy, because I think Malkador's in it. So every time Malkador is in there for more than 10 pages, he usually drops some knowledge bombs about like old Terra or like the Emperor, and you're like, oh damn.
He was only in there for like 2 or 3 pages, I think. But no,
Yeah,
because
I think it's
they
something simple.
yeah, because they have the one lady who's like part of the lunar gene cult, which
Oh, the
yeah,
Selenar. Yeah.
and then that psyker that they capture, he's from something else weird from back in the day, a red Crimson Walker or
Oh,
whatever.
oh yeah. I can vaguely remember that. I wonder if it's connected to something else that happens. But again, I'm not going to spoil too much.
They don't maybe it's Alpha Legion stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, Alpha Legion, the Deus Ex Machina of 40K, where you already
There you
had
go.
Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, what would you remind me of? Actually, speaking of interesting fan theories, I was reading a thing about you saw No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, a while ago, but I love that movie.
So apparently, there's a theory that Javier Bardem's character isn't real.
Ooh,
Yeah.
go on.
So well, cause like I guess he never really interacts with anybody except for
The people he kills, right?
allegedly. And
Allegedly.
yeah, and uh what's his face?
Woody Harrelson,
No, the good guy.
Tommy Lee Jones,
The other one, Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, just for all, his character's wife is like the only one who really actually interacts with Bardem's character, and we don't know what happens there.
Oh, right.
And then of course, like it wouldn't make sense if he was a real person that the main guy just ends up getting gunned down by some cartel guys at the end, and he just doesn't even really do any of it.
See, I'd have to go back and watch it because I mean it's been definitely long enough, so I'd have to go back and watch it to kind of pick up on that theory. But it's funny, just like the scenes that you think of when you're thinking about that movie, right? Like the Tommy Lee Jones of the newspaper, meme. Then there's also like Bardem's performance. I just remember just being just haunting. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's a Coen Brothers movie, right? Pretty sure it is.
Fuck if I remember.
No country.
But I think
It's 'cause-
the only thing that doesn't really line up with that idea is the like the whole scene where he's where Bardem's on the toilet like picking shotgun shells out of his leg. Like why that?
Mm,
Like why would that be there? You know what I mean?
right.
But
Yeah, it's a
I don't
Coen
know.
Brothers movie.
Or they just wanted a weird bad guy, I guess.
Yeah, it could be it. I mean, their stuff is pretty damn good and creepy like that, you know.
I mean, it
That,
did get him a Bond role, so maybe something like
damn,
that.
it came out in 2007. Damn.
Oh yeah, I would have been
A long ass time ago.
junior in college, maybe sophomore
I
actually.
would
You would have been a baby.
wait, you were a junior in college in 2007?
Junior, sophomore, kind of. No, sophomore.
Okay, because I was a freshman in 2007, 2008. So you were a class ahead of me?
I graduated '09.
So you were two classes ahead of me. You would have been a junior when I was a freshman. Because
Something like that.
I started in 2007 and graduated in 2012. I think is that the way we did it? Whatever. I mean, I was there 4 years. I just can't remember what it was.
Like, why did you just skip a few? You
Yeah, I
would
was
have
dumb.
been. No,
Dumb.
I would have been a senior when you were a freshman, I think.
Really? I thought I was older than you.
Or no. Yeah, I would have been a junior when you were a freshman.
I thought my ass was older than yours.
No,
Or maybe I'm
I'm
dumb.
34.
Nah, I don't believe you. It's chicken feed. Mm-mm.
Well,
Nope.
sophomore, junior, I'll always be your senior. So
Nice. Good night, everybody.
that's our time. No.
Yeah. And on that note, no, that's funny. I always thought you were, just personally, I always thought you were like either my age to 32. I never thought you were younger than me though. I always thought you were like within a couple years of me
Oh,
because I'm 30. I'm about to be 31 anyway.
you might be thinking of like Miles or Danny.
No, Miles is a kid. Miles is like
Oh,
Miles is like I think 2 years younger than me, and Danny's like
the same.
he's
I think.
he's the same. He's just this ageless Asian. His words, not mine.
Well,
Don't want to be the white guy called out for racial commentary.
well, no, he only got mad that one time you called him dumb though.
That's
'Cause
true,
that
and
wasn't, yeah.
it's because I called him
Off
dumb.
character.
Well, it's the thing is he got mad because, and again, his words, I might be dumb, but I am still a ninja. You could insult me as long as you just mention that I'm a ninja, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're kicking my ass at this game, so it doesn't matter.
I guess that's what CrossFit is apparently. Then just ninja. Speaking of time, figure it's a good time to bring back the CD haul segment. At the latest one, I got these guys.
Static. Oh my god.
Fuck yeah! Now this isn't just any album. This is their last album, which came out like a couple years after the main guy passed away.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately. Good old.
I didn't know he died.
Yeah, he OD'd a while back, unfortunately. Which is too bad because I mean like a lot of people shit on staticx because it's I mean obviously it's like the kind of like the new metal ish genre and
Oh
they,
yeah.
they definitely have a lot of songs that are just kind of like, you know, oh, they're being retarded or whatever, but then every album has like one or two songs where like you listen to it's like, oh, this is actually really really good.
Yeah.
Like they got their message and everything.
This one's a banger. Yeah, that's a good one.
But actually what was really interesting about this album is have you ever heard of the band Dope?
I think let me look them up, but I
Maybe
think so.
vaguely.
That sounds familiar.
I know they're from around here.
I think I've heard Everything Sucks, but I can't remember what it is.
Possibly. Same vein, same genre, all that
Hmm.
stuff. But and actually, their lead singer was also on like one of those old MTV love contest shows for a little bit, which is neither here nor there. But no,
That's pretty funny.
this album came out after they did like a benefit concert where they had a mystery lead singer fill
Hmm.
in, and it was actually the lead singer from Dope, apparently.
Oh no, kidding. That's awesome.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I definitely read that a couple times somewhere. But
If I if I had to if I okay, so I don't actually have any of my physical CDs on me. I think I have them in a box somewhere. But if I had to pick a CD that I remember offhand that I bought, it was the Halo 2 soundtrack. Straight up bought the Halo 2 soundtrack from Borders because I loved that shit. That's the last CD I remember. I know I bought a couple other ones, but I distinctly remember that one.
oh, recently?
Not recently, no. I
Oh
bought it when I
shit.
was like, I was like 13 because at that point, like my older brothers were really good at like burning and ripping CDs, and then so I
Oh
just had a
yeah.
plethora. I just had a plethora of stuff to listen to, and then by the time I actually started collecting my own music, was when MP3s were really a thing. So I had a basic ass MP3 player at one point, and then I ended up getting an iPod, like one of the first generation iPod Colors, and like that got me through almost all of college because I didn't need anything else. Then by the time that thing died, smartphones were a thing, so not even a big deal there.
I remember. Okay, I do remember having like one of those old school MP3 players before the iPads came out. Like I think I had one
Yeah.
with like a tape that popped out, but like nobody actually made those kind of tapes anyway. So it's like, well, what's the fucking point?
Well, yeah, I don't remember what mine. It was like this like weird little pager ass thing. I'm pretty sure I was just like on loan from my brothers who never used it anymore. And then I got the iPod, and then I remember it was my junior year of college is when I got my first smartphone, and I got an HTC Evo, and it had the cover had a kickstand you could put up so you could watch videos on your desk when you put it up. And it was this whole thing, and it was actually really good for the time. 3G. It's one of the first 3G phones.
Back then, there probably weren't a lot of videos to watch though. That's probably before like YouTube was even. Well, maybe
No,
not.
it was after YouTube. YouTube was like 2010. No. Before that, I'm sorry. YouTube was like 2006
Might have been
because
before.
YouTube came out when YouTube was when I was in high school. I was like
Oh,
a sophomore, junior in high school when I remember YouTube being a thing, and I was like, "This is so cool."
it's probably before you can make any real money off of it though.
Oh, I know, right?
And now you probably can't really make a whole lot either. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, you have to be in that like 1% of like YouTube creators who actually make a ton of money.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even just be able to make a living. It's all that really matters anyway.
Yeah, and even half the time too, they end up doing like side projects that really bring in the attention.
Oh yeah. I don't want to just make a living though. So who knows?
Yeah, someone who does that, not fun.
Let's see. Well, I do have some more articles for us. Quite a bit more.
Sounds good.
We can get
Oh,
into
quite a bit.
post-apocalypse articles. Here we go. Some of these are kind of old. First one I got here. New York Bar Association giving Rudy the boot. Rudy Giuliani, that is.
Yeah, not Sean Astin. If anyone was confused, I mean that's not a shocker, like
No.
at all.
No, he's definitely been going off the rails pretty recently.
Pretty hard. Yeah,
You can only ride your 9/11 coattails for so long, I guess.
And damn.
I mean, he's literally leaking out the head.
Oh, that picture is so gross. Ugh. Ugh. Such a PR failure.
Okay, next one we got. After Capitol riot, Biden backs domestic terror law. It's a predictably misguided response. I can see. I think they're kind of thinking of like the whole Patriot Act situation that we had.
I mean, I could totally see that being. I mean, the government's solution to everything is this happened, we must overcorrect it and
Oh
secretly
yeah,
give ourselves more control. Like, not shocked there either.
and never give it back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, hell no.
Actually, like, it kind of reminds me of a little bit unrelated. I'm sure you've seen this whole thing about how apparently like every U.S. Intelligence agency has like a month or so to reveal or to like publicize all of their uh, findings on like UFOs and extraterrestrials.
Oh, because of something Trump did?
Or yeah, it was part of that fucking relief bill that they were working on, where they were just jamming like a whole bunch of shit in there.
Seriously?
Yeah, apparently that was
I
part
did
of that.
not know that.
But
Huh.
but the thing is, like, who's even checking? You know
Well,
what I mean?
they're all just gonna be oh, like we didn't find anything except this one meteorite, and that was it. And then they're gonna be like crossing the fingers, putting it behind the back.
Well, no, I mean, like, I just imagine like they would like drag out the uh director of the CIA or whatever, put him in a press conference and be like, tell us everything you know about the UFOs. And be like, I know it'd be fucking awesome if they were real.
Be having a
Okay.
lot less problems here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They said we suck and we can't join them.
Yeah, right. I actually do kind of have a bit in mind about that whenever I can try and do stand up again. But
Nice.
anybody, because like another thing that I did hear about actually too was one thing that kind of like sparked this whole alien thing was like some intelligence agencies, like I think like Israel, they had put out something about how, like, oh yeah, aliens have definitely been here, and they made uh like a deal or whatever with like former presidents and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but the thing is like that doesn't actually represent anybody else really when you think about it, except for like those specific people. So like what's gonna happen in like sometime when like the aliens come here, like, we are the aliens, we're here to live or whatever, and be like, well, I don't fucking know anything about that. That has nothing to do with me. Get out of here. Fuck out of here, alien.
Can't you see we don't want you no more?
Well, it would be like I don't know, you getting like it would be like the aliens are basically just getting scanned by like some grifter. Like, oh yeah, I'm the landlord over here. Just pay me like $1,000 now, and you can live there forever.
That's gotta be a plot to something somewhere. That had to be a thing.
And then the aliens would or then whoever would show up and be like, "What? No, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm the landlord. What are you talking about?"
And it's 2000.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did. I have had kind of a similar situation like that happen at my venue that I was working at. There was one night where some guy. It was one of those shows where like the line was just around the block.
Oh
You
dang.
know what I mean? Like a real high profile one. And apparently, there was some dude just like showed up on the block, wearing a suit. Looking real formal,
Hmm.
and he was telling people that he was selling like secret VIP entry.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I normally work the table service entrance in the back,
Hmm.
or I did anyway. I should still be there eventually, but yeah, that was kind of like my zone. and there was that one night where these couple guys came up, and they now normally the people that we let in, they have like the platinum seating tickets or whatever, so that's like either like a table or some other group or whatever. But they just came up and they showed me their wrists, and they had like a star or whatever pinned on there. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? Yeah. And they told me like, yeah, yeah, your guy down the around the corner was, selling these passes for like, I think it was like $500
Jesus.
or something like that. And like we can't do anything about that.
No.
Like at all.
That's like, here's a free drink voucher. That's the best I can do.
So the point being is, any alien that came down and made like a deal with anybody, that's what happened to the aliens.
Nice.
It's a scam.
I could totally see that.
Aliens have been scammed. All right, let's go ahead and move on here.
Yeah, I think I got time for a couple more.
Couple more, perfect, because I gotta pee soon here. Next one up. Trump was more upset that Capitol mob looked low class than about violent attacks, reports say. Probably another no surprise. Oh, this last one's kind of sad. Century Media dropped Iced Earth from their artist page.
That's the one where the lead singer was part of the riots, right?
Yes. I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw something about that.
Yeah, guitarist John Schaefer. I don't read these articles normally, but I forgot exactly what happened in this one. So, yeah, he was there, I guess.
Yep.
And fucked it up for the rest of them.
It's one of those things where it's like, wait, I did this thing and now I'm being punished for doing this thing? The ramifications of my actions? What?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, it'd be one thing if he was like standing outside the Capitol the entire time, but if like you're inside, like doing all the stuff that people did, you're toast.
Well, at least he wasn't one of the major iconic infiltrators or whatever. But I don't know. At the same time, though, they've had a pretty good run. They have like 20 albums or something.
I don't know. I'm actually. I know of them, but I'm not familiar with them at all. Like so.
They're more of like a epic power metal.
Ooh, nice.
Type of thing. So.
I'll give them a shot.
They got some good ones in there.
But. Nice.
Well, I guess if you're ready to wrap it up for now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've done my piece. Ranted about Wall Street corruption and cryptocurrency. I'm all good to go.
Well, there you guys go. That was thanks for listening to another episode of the Jankity Ass Podcast. Either here on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts, especially if you're already listening. You already got your platform.
There you go.
We're on all the major platforms and a bunch in between. And of course, Multi-Murdy Media on YouTube. You get this show, you get the Gutsy Ass Gamer, you get the Poncho's Paint Booth, and also follow our page on Instagram and Facebook, which is also Multi-Murdy Media. I've been Carson, he's been Tom, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night, everybody.